Thank you for joining me for this class today. This class is really for anyone interested in working on hip mobility, hip stability, strengthening of the general lower body area. Over the past year specifically in my personal practice, I have really been working on trying to expand the range of motion in my hips and also working on strengthening the muscles around my knee to help my running gait. So this is the kind of stuff that I've been doing, and do what you can, follow along. If you have any questions, you can email me after, send me a DM. I'll be happy to hear from you. So we're going to start today's class in a quadruped position, all fours. And go ahead and have your hands a little bit wider than shoulder distance. You can be on your fist, you can be traditionally on your hands, whatever. Bring your knees pretty close together, and we're going to do hip cars of the right hip first. So the knee stays bent to 90 degrees. Try not to move your spine here, and just bring your knee towards your chest. Then it starts to open out towards the side of the room, and then the foot presses up towards the ceiling. So we're basically making a rotation of your hip. It's called a controlled articular rotation here. And we are going to do one more in this direction, just making a big circle around, trying not to have a lot of movement happen in the rest of the body, and then reversing it. So as this foot comes up, we're trying not to arch through the back here. So almost thinking about somebody punching you in the stomach as your foot comes up. That image seems to work for me. And then we'll do two more in this direction, and one more in this direction. Good, and then that same leg will keep working. So I'm going to just abduct the leg, meaning I'm going to take it away from the body and back down. It's kind of like dog at the fire hydrant, but we're not rotating the pelvis, meaning I have a yoga block here. I wouldn't want the yoga block to just fall off on the other side. So that was my big demo for you guys. Let's go ahead and do 5 more of those out to the side. 4 and 3 and 2, and on the last one, hold the leg out there. Super fun. We're going to keep the upper part of the leg where the femur is, where it is in space, and just straighten the leg, bend. Straighten the leg and bend. And we're going to straighten and bend, reach and lengthen 4 more times. So we have 4 and 3 and 2. And on the last one, keep the leg straight and just bring your foot to the floor. And we'll pause here for a second. So I'm going to tilt my pelvis back as if I'm going into the cow part of cat-cow. I'm going to send my hips back a little bit for a stretch here of the inner thigh of my right leg. And I'm also kind of pressing down into the floor. Oh, can you see my right foot? Down into the floor with my foot. Okay, so from here I'm going to reset up. Imagine that your upper body is just in a plank. Keep that, and the right leg is going to try to lift and hover off of the floor. Lower back down, lift up, lower back down. 8 more for 8 and 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, keep the leg lifted. Circle it all the way around. Put some weight in the ball of the foot back there, and we'll take a plank here. So we're just going to pause in a plank, hold it for several breaths. Take a body scan, reaching your sternum bone forward, finding a little bit of that posterior tuck in the pelvis. And then we'll set the knees back down and do the hip cars on the other side. I'm just going to turn around so that you guys can see me. Face wherever you want. All right, so the left knee is going to pull into chest, open out to side, foot presses up towards the ceiling. We're making the biggest possible circle with that hip without moving other stuff. We are moving the biggest possible circle without pain. So let's reverse the circle. If you get to a spot when you're doing a rotation of really any joint, and you get to a spot with pain, just make the range of motion a little bit smaller, moving around the pain, not through it. And I think that might be 3 rotations. So now we're just going to abduction. So the leg comes away from the body and back down. And open and close. We go for 6 more. And 5, 4, 3, and 2. Last one, hold the leg up. The leg straightens. Reach it out, bend it in. Reach and bend. 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Setting the foot down, tilting the pelvis back, reaching the hips back, pressing the foot down into the floor, breathing into the inner thigh. Feel free to press pause and hang out here for a while. Otherwise, when you're ready to go, you're going to set up your torso for basically a plank, and the leg floats off the floor from here. Lower down, lift off. Lower down, lift off. Up and up. 4 more for 4. 3, 2, last one. Circle it back. Step back into your plank. Taking a scan of the body. Bring your shoulders back. Tucking your pelvis underneath you. Reaching your heels back. Taking 1 more breath in. And then lowering your knees down. We're going to go to laying on your back. So once you get on your back here, allow your arms, you don't need this block anymore, to open out to a T or a cactus. Heel toe your feet really wide. If you're on a mat and not just the carpet like me, let your feet be as wide as the mat. And the knees are going to windshield wiper from side to side. So I'm letting my upper body stay anchored down. The knees are going side to side. And the next time my knees go to the right, which is towards the wallpaper, I'm going to pause there. And then I'm going to see if I can get my left heel a little bit closer to my left butt cheek. So it just comes up a little bit. And then my right foot's coming to the outside of this left leg and just anchoring down, but really tractioning out away from my body. Keeping the right ankle crossed on top. I'm just going to flip this shape up towards more of a figure 4. And then reach through the leg and pause in my figure 4 stretch. Anytime I'm in a static stretch or even a passive stretch in this class, feel free to pause or just assume that you could hang out here for a while. But I'm going to keep moving through just for the purposes of a virtual class. And we're going to take this foot down onto the floor, extending the right leg up towards the ceiling and climbing the hands up for a hamstring stretch. And while we're here, I'm going to point and flex through the foot. And just noticing how that changes the stretch on the back of my leg. Good. I'm going to keep my right leg reaching up towards the ceiling and see if I can extend the left leg out. And then release my arms down to the floor. So my extended leg is going to make a single straight leg circle. I'm going to cross the body, take the leg down, open it to the side a little bit, and stop at the top. Cross, down, around, and up. Cross, down, around, and up. And we take it 6 more. And 5. And 4. And 3. 2. And 1. If I wasn't talking while I was doing this, I would definitely inhale down, exhale to bring it up. We're reversing it. Out, down, around, and up. Out, down, around, and up. 5 more. 5, down, around, and up. 4, down, around, and up. 3, 2, last one, and then hug the knee into your chest. We'll keep the knee coming in, grabbing with the opposite arm. Just draw the leg across the body for a twist while you're here, and then turning the head the opposite way that the leg is going. From here, bring yourself back up to center, bend both knees, heel toe the feet far apart from each other, and both knees now are going in the opposite direction. For me, it's the left. My right heel is gonna come a little bit closer up to my right glute. My left heel is gonna prop on top. It's anchoring my right leg down and also helping to traction away from the body. I feel a stretch on the front of my right hip flexor right now. Keeping the left heel on top, I'm just gonna reshape this, making it into more of a classic figure 4, reaching through, and here we go. I am gonna take this shape that I have a little bit more over to the right, so you can kind of rock this shape side to side, and you'll notice there's a sweet spot where you get way more out of the stretch. So play with where that is for you. And then I'm going to extend the left leg up for a hamstring stretch. You might already know that one leg, it feels a little bit more flexible than the other. As you point and flex here, it might be easier for you to extend one leg up towards the ceiling than the other one. If you've had an injury before, you already know. But if you're just like a regular person with no injury and one side is different than the other, then you just discovered that you are a human being who is not symmetrical. Welcome to the club. So the other leg is going to extend out. I'm going to try to hold that leg reaching up towards the ceiling. Straight leg circle starting from across the body, down, around, and up. And across, down, around, and up. And 6. And 5. 4. 3. And 2. 1. Reversing. Out, down, around, and up. Breathing in. Exhale to pull it up. 6. 5. 4. Pressing down through the floor with the arms for 3. And 2. One more time here. And bringing the knee into the chest. Taking that twist like we did on the other side. Notice what happens to the opposite shoulder if it wants to totally come off the floor. Seeing if you can find a sweet spot. So what if the shoulder comes off the floor? So just kind of manage your own priority system here. Like, I'm enjoying the stretch through my shoulder while I'm taking a little twist here and letting my hip flexor relax. So my main objective is not to make a shape where my shoulder is sutured to the floor. But I'm definitely participating and kind of actively drawing it back to the floor without being dogmatic about it. Alright, so bringing this shape back to center. Let's bend both knees and just set up for like a traditional bridge. So a pelvic lift. Really pressing down into the arms. Go from a tuck and think about peeling your low back off of the mat or the floor as you lift, and then melting back down. And we're just going to do that a couple more times. Peeling the spine up. Finding a place where the hip flexor opens. This doesn't need to be a massive like back bend. Just think about opening the fronts of your hips and then melting through the low back. The next time we peel up, let's just hold it. Holding the bridge. So right now I'm feeling both of my butt cheeks, my glutes, really engaged. And I'm going to play with some hip dips here where I release my left hip and my left glute and let that hip drop down. And then re-squeeze it back up. Release the right Squeeze it back up. And we're gonna alternate that for 8. Bring it up. And 7. My knees are pretty much staying even. It's not a huge movement, but you can definitely feel it. Totally lost count there, but let's just do one more each side. And last one. Good, and then melting down the spine. Good, so for our next trick, it's going to, I'm scooting a little bit further away from the wall. This is going to be an element kind of like a shoulder stand. So if for whatever reason you know you don't have that in your practice, you can just leave your butt on the ground. But otherwise, you're going to press down through the arms and start by lifting your legs up and over, and then making a shelf in your low back with your hands. And we're going to send the legs up towards the ceiling. Try to keep your neck really neutral and just kind of looking straight up. And listen for the directions, or pause and watch and then try it again so you don't have to crane your neck towards the video. So this is going to be the helicopter. It's one of my favorite hippie things. So I'm going to take my right leg to me and my left leg away. And I'm going to scissor 2 times here. Switch, switch, and then circle my legs around this helicopter. And we take it switch and circle around. Switch and switch, circle around. Switch, switch, reaching out from the pelvis. Switch, switch, circle around. Switch, switch, circle. One more each side. So switch and a switch. Circle the legs. Last one. Switch, switch, circling back around. Both legs come behind you. Press down through the floor to help you resist rolling down really slowly. Good. One bone at a time coming down. See if your low back can stay anchored to the floor as you let both straight legs lower towards the floor all the way down. Good. Reaching the arms up, just one roll up to transition, chin to your chest, rolling all the way up. Good. So we're going to move into a lunge series here. So I'm going to step my right foot forward and I have my left knee down. So this is what I call the proposal lunge, right? Because proposal. From here, I'm going to tuck the back knee, or excuse me, the back toes, so that I can lift my back knee up. And I've got a little bit of a tucky feeling going through my pelvis. Head and shoulders are lined up over the back knee. And we're just hanging out here, super fun. So from here, I'm going to pull this left knee all the way up in front of me. I'll be balancing on my right leg. I'm going to bring that knee up and step it back. 4 more. 4 and back. 3. Good. Really pressing through the supporting leg. Good. Let's do one more. Hold this shape. From here, I'm going to extend my left leg behind me. It's going to look kind of like a warrior 3. So the back leg is going to extend behind me. I'm going to pitch forward through my torso and then draw that knee back. So I'm kind of like a bird at the bird bath, bringing the knee back up. So I've got hip extension on my left leg and then flexion as I pull it through. Whoop, and you might lose your balance like that. Good. And then the last warrior 3 from here, we're going to go back to the proposal lunge. So now it's proposal lunge, warrior 3. Some of this kind of reminds me of like a single leg deadlift. Proposal lunge, warrior 3. And 2 more. And up. And last one, bringing it up. Find the proposal lunge, try to hover your knee off of the floor, and 8 times we have little pulses here, taking this shape up an inch, down an inch, up and down. 6 more, 6, and a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and gently setting the knee down, switching to the other side. How did it go? I wish I could see you. Okay, so tucking the back toes, hovering the back knee, finding 90-ish degrees at all the bends. From here, shifting forward onto the front leg, working on balance here. Shifting forward. You need to have a little bit of a push off of the back leg and a little bit of a push down through the front leg. On the next one, let's hold it. Hold. We're going to send the right leg back and pitch the torso forward. Woo! Maybe you have a wall next to you that you can reach out and grab for assistance like I do. So the upper body is doing a hip hinge forward. Let's do 3 more of those. 3, and 2. And on the last one, we're going to step back to the proposal lunge. We have lunge, shifting forward, and up. 3 more times. 3, and 2, and last one. Try not to get the knee all the way to the floor, just hover it just over the floor 8 times, little pulses here for 8, and 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. The last one, lower the knee all the way down and live your best life. Here we go. So I'm just going to turn, for the purposes of teaching to my phone, turn to you guys. And then I'm going to extend a leg out to the side like a kickstand. So I've got, both legs are parallel, and I've got the bottom of my foot anchored down onto the floor. My hands are going to come behind the head like I'm going to do a sit-up. And we're kind of doing side sit-ups. So I am going to bend my spine laterally towards my extended leg, and then bend away from it until it feels like I might fall. And then back it up. And we go towards the straight leg, and away. And we'll just do that 3 more times. 3, and 2, and last one. Bend away, hold. 8 little pulses here. We're coming up an inch, down an inch, up and down. 6 more. 6, and 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Bottom arm extends, plant it to the floor, and this leg needs to be able to float off of the floor. Now we're going to lift and lower the extended leg. It comes up, it comes down. Lift, lower. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Plant the foot down. You stay here or you step into a side plank. I'm stepping behind the other leg, and the other arm comes up. We thread the needle. Look underneath your armpit. The hips might pike up as you reach towards the back leg. The arm extends back up. Push through the floor with your supporting arm. Reach back up. We're going to do 6 more of these. 6. Woo! And 5, 4, 3, and 2. Last one. Nice, lowering the hips down, and then making almost like a 90-90 shape with the legs. Don't worry about exactly 90 degrees just yet. We're going to take a mermaid side bend towards, this is my right, I'm going to my right. I'm using my right hand to kind of gently pull on something. I'm grabbing onto my knee here, and I'm breathing into the left side, lateral side breathing here. Okay, and I'm going to pivot myself a quarter turn this way, just so you can see the shape of my legs here. So I'm opening up this shape, especially my back leg, to make more of a 90-degree angle here. So my thigh is coming straight out from my hip, bent to 90 degrees and coming back. We're just going to work on a little internal and external rotation here. So with my spine straight up like this, I have a hard time if I wanted to lift this foot up. It's very difficult to do that. So I am going to lean forward enough so that I could lift my foot off of the floor slightly and lower it back down. So that's internal rotation of the hip, and we'll do that about 8 more times. So we lift up for 8, slowly lower down, 7, lowering down. When you lift it up, try to hold and squeeze it up there, and then set it down with control. Up. I think we have 4 more left. So we have 4, lowering down, 3, lowering down, 2, and down. Last one, lowering down with control. I'm going to shift my torso back a little bit more, and now it's going to be external rotation from the hip. I'm trying not to rotate my hips towards you guys. I'm trying to keep my hips towards this window, and I'm just going to lift my knee off the floor. That's as much as I can go, and I'm trying my best not to rotate my hips. So I come up and down, and 6 more there for 6, lower, 5, lower, 4, and 3, and 2, and last one. Okay, great. So we are going to go back to the kneeling side setup. So I'm just going to turn to face you, extend my left leg out, hands come back behind the head. So ideally you have the other leg from what you did before extended out. All right, so we're going to bend towards the extended leg, bend away from the leg until it feels like you might fall over, and then don't. And we'll do that 3 more times. And 2. And on the last one, I'm holding the side bend away from the leg, taking it about as far as I can go, and then 8 pulses there for 8, and 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, bottom arm comes down. Put some weight into it. We're lifting the extended leg 10 times. So we lift, lower down, up, down, lift, and lift. Good. Try to keep your spine long. We have 5 more. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping the foot down. Now you can do the thread the needle like this, or you can step into the plank like I did on the other side. So either way. Breathing in, exhale, thread underneath. Reaching up, thread the needle. 6 more for 6. Reach. 5. Reach. 4. 3. And 2. Last one. Reach. Find the plank, lowering down with control, taking your mermaid, side bend the other way. Breathing into the side that's being stretched, living your best life. I'll do that same thing where I just turn to the side. You'll probably want to open up this shape just a little bit, check out your 90-90 position, and we'll start with internal rotation of the leg that's out to the side. For me, I need to pitch my chest forward a little bit. We're looking to get the foot to lift off of the floor, lower back down. Once I've set up my torso and my pelvis, I don't want to rock and roll with it every time I lift the leg. So I just want to, it's not going to come up very high, but it feels like a lot of work to do that. Up and down. Let's do 3 more. 3 and 2, 1. Lifting the chest back up, working on external rotation. I'm lifting the knee up and down, lifting up and down. 6 more. 6, 5, 4, 3, even on both sides of that. The next series, you're gonna lay on your stomach. So I'm just gonna roll myself over. Your hands can stack one hand on top of the other and make just like a little forehead pillow. And we're gonna keep the legs really long and straight. So while you're laying on your stomach, start to tuck your tailbone underneath you, lengthening your low back. Imagining again like someone has punched you in the stomach. And I'm gonna drill through the floor with the top of my left foot and just hover my right leg just slightly off the ground. So I'm feeling the opposition of my legs. One pressing down, one floating up. And then my right leg is just gonna lift up 2 inches from there and lower down. Lift and lower, 8 more, 8 and 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, lower down. Switching sides, so I'm really bringing my awareness back to my pelvis, trying to find that tucky feeling so that as I lift the leg, it's not all coming from my low back extending, it's ideally coming from my hip extending. So other side, top of right foot drilling through the floor, pelvis tucked, and the left leg hovers off the floor. 10 times we lift for 10, and 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lowering down. Okay, good. Let's do it with a bent knee. So you're gonna take let's bend both knees. So we're gonna end up making basically like a frog position. Both knees bend, the legs externally rotate just slightly, and the heels glued together. So we're really pressing our heels together. Again, finding that tucky feeling of the pelvis. Someone's punched you in your stomach. As your heels glued together, both legs lift up slightly, lower down. Squeeze and lift, lower down. 8 more for 8. And 7. Notice what happens in the upper body here. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed. 5 more. 4. 3. 2. On the last one, hold it up there, pulse it up there 8 times. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Good, stretching the legs back out. We are going to shift all the way back into a downward facing dog position to stretch out the back of the legs. So tucking the toes, sending the hips up. Feel free to have your knees as bent as you want, as straight as you want. And we're just gonna walk out the feet. One knee bends extra, one leg lengthens a little bit more. Walking out the feet. Good. Shorten your distance of your down dog just a little bit. I'm going to keep pushing through the floor with my right arm, and my left hand is going to thread the needle. I'm going to reach through for my ankle or my shin, look underneath my armpit, and smile at you awkwardly from underneath my arm. How you doing? And then we switch sides. Left hand presses through, right arm threads the needle, giving it a little pull. Last breath here. Bringing the hand back down, bringing the knees down, having a seat. And that's going to be a wrap for our kind of low body themed class today. I hope that your hips feel amazing. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. And thank you so much for sticking around if you made it this long. Thank you and take care.